Hi, my name's Sydney Saunders, and I'm in JCC's English 1530, and for my research project, I did artificial hormones in agriculture. So what are growth hormones? They can be injected, implanted, or fed to the animals. Injected would be like a normal shot. Implanted would be embedded underneath the skin, which releases the hormones accordingly, or it can be fed to the animal in feed, grains, any additives to the food. And I learned this information from a source called Impacts on Human Health. And what do growth hormones do? Well, they accelerate their growth rate, which means that they're going to become heavier, they're going to grow a lot faster, which produces more meat when they go to the slaughterhouse, which means that the producer is going to make more profit off of their products, which are the animals. So estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and the synthetic versions of those that are made in a lab, RBST and RBH, are the hormones that are given to the animals. And this was found from the article, Steroid Human Implants Used for Growth in Food-Producing Animals. And this topic has been around for about 66 years now. We've been using growth hormones in America since beginning of World War II, and it become more prevalent since. So the history of artificial hormones, which I kind of touched on. So in September of 1993, World War II just begun, and Americans were coming out of the Great Depression, which was a time where a lot of families and people didn't have a lot of money, and it was hard for them to buy food and keep their families alive. So Americans decided, how could we make life better for us? Well, they decided, growth hormones would produce more meat at a cheaper cost for the consumer. And I learned this information from USDA, continues to tolerate abuse at largest slaughter plants. And at the picture to the left, you can see in 1950, the chickens were a lot smaller. They weren't using as much growth hormones that they do now. But in 2008, which was a couple years ago, at day 47 compared to day 68, the chicken is maybe 3 times as big, twice as big at even an earlier date. This is why this issue has been so prevalent the last couple years, because farmers have really been pushing these additives to the animals, making them insanely big. So, the effects on animals. The information that I'm about to talk about has come from the article, If FDA Does Not Regulate Food, Who Will? So, artificial hormones make chickens extremely overweight. As the picture that you just saw before, that would be like a normal chicken on the left, and the chicken on the right would be the additive chicken with the hormones in it, which is extremely big. Their bodies can't support the amount. So when I talk about this, the legs begin to snap when the chicken becomes too heavy. Their legs are not made to hold that much weight. And after they snap, the chickens are going to be immobile until they go to the slaughterhouse, which means that they're living in their own filth. Their tissues are decaying. They're not moving. They're under a lot of stress. And so the abnormal changes that the additives bring on to these chickens, it throws off homeostasis completely. Like, they are not producing the right hormones. Their body's out of whack. And so when this happens, the meat is unhealthy for the consumer. So profit incentive for this topic is a huge topic, because the more meat a producer can make, the more money they get. So from nutritional benefits of organic meat, I learned that this topic, that the more meat and the more pounds they get to go to the slaughterhouse, the more that they get to have for themselves. Organic versus non-organic food products has allowed me to see that the care about their well-being versus the animals. So farmers really do care about how much they make. They don't really care about if they're throwing off homeostasis in these animals, if the animals' legs are breaking, anything like that. They don't care. All they want is the end result, that they want the money that comes from these animals. So, effects on consumers. As you may not know, that artificial hormones that the animals receive when we eat the animals, it affects us. So the excessive hormones in the human body can cause obesity, and which can lead to cardiovascular disease. So on the left side of the screen, you can see a picture on the bottom left, which a obese person is now having heart problems. And artificial hormones have been linked to a lot of cancers, such as prostate, colon, breast, and the part in the growth hormone that causes this that they found is IGF-1. It's a specific artificial hormone that's linked to the cancer, like I said, but it is found in these artificial growth hormones. And I learned this information from If FDA Does Not Regulate Food, Who Will? So from the source Nutritional Benefits of Organic Meat, I learned that organic meat does not contain any artificial hormones. They're grass-fed. They live out in the grange. The animals are a lot healthier than the ones that are cooped up in the pen, who are given shots daily, fed daily, the growth hormones, anything like that. So another article that I learned from this information was organic versus non-organic food products. So from this, I learned that organic meat contains omega-3, which reduces the risk for cancers, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and it contains a lot of vitamins that you wouldn't find in a animal that is given growth hormones, such as vitamin E, carotenoids, and iron. So, cost complications in America. So, this is a huge topic because the consumers, which is us, as in America, we really look at the price. When we go to the store, we look at the price. Which one's cheaper? Well, the growth hormones with the chicken is going to be a lot costly than the organic meat. This is because organic farm producers don't have as much meat to send off to the animals to send off to the slaughterhouse, so they have to have their prices a little bit higher than the regular meat. So from effects of organic poultry purchase frequency on consumer attitudes towards organic poultry meat, and National Monthly Grass-Fed Beef Report has allowed me to see that a organic ribeye steak per pound would be $14.35, and a regular ribeye steak would be $8.26 per pound. That's a huge difference. As a consumer, you might not make that much money, so you're obviously going to go with the regular, but cheaper is not always better. What you buy is really what you get. So the USDA Food Distribution Program strengthens nutrition and safety, really allows people to buy what they need, and they make sure that the price of organic doesn't get too high, but they make sure that the regular meat also doesn't get too high, but still, you buy what you get. I really do think that the organic is going to be better for you. So, National Farmers Union. So this is an organization that is for artificial hormones. So they work to enhance farmers' lives. So to do this, they want to allow farmers to get more money. So they really do push growth hormones used in agriculture in the NFU because they want to enhance farmers' lives. And anyone can join to become a member. And I learned this information from history about NFU. So, what's an organization against artificial hormones? Well, you may not know this group, but it is PETA. It is People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, and they really push for better rights for these animals. They don't get treated like that, and they believe that human success shouldn't be at the cost of animals' lives. Ethics is a huge topic in should artificial hormones be used in agriculture. So you may say, oh, okay, is it ethical to force growth hormones on these animals? Or is it ethical to make meat cheaper for people to buy in the store? So money is really the issue in this topic, which comes down to it. So my opinion on this topic would be that animals don't deserve this cruelty that people are giving them, that maybe the organic meat is a lot healthier for us. It can benefit us in the long run. I don't see why using growth hormones would be appropriate in this situation at all. So I do side with PETA. Thank you for listening to my presentation.